Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video, and in this video we're talking about the movie Speed, a classic action film released in 1994. I'm gonna be watching another action film tonight to be reviewed on the channel. We kind of moved on from horror and we're moving into the action aspect. So we have a Keanu Reeves movie here, Speed. Not the YouTuber, not the guy with like 12 million subscribers. Shout out to him, but it's not him. But yeah, we're getting into the plot. Sorry. Critical reception, and then I'm probably gonna watch a little bit of The Walking Dead before my class today, so there's that. Here we go. LAPD SWAT bomb disposal officers Jack and Harry Thornton attempt to hold an elevator full of people for a $3 million ransom by an extortionist bomber later identified as Howard Payne. So he's going to be the main antagonist in the story. As they corner Payne, he takes Harry hostage. So he's like has the bomb held to his head, which is going to kill him too, but he's going to be like a suicide bomber, I guess. He's going to kill everyone. That's more dangerous than putting a gun to someone's head. Jack intentionally shoots Harry in the leg, forcing the bomber to release him. So if he injures his own guy, if he injures the hostage, the other guy's going to be like, oh, okay, he's on my side. I'm just going to go blow myself up to pieces. Or does he? Payne flees and explodes the bomb, seemingly dying, which we think, okay, this guy's out of the way, so what's the point of the show right now? But that's where we're wrong. He's going to return later on in the movie, which was kind of cool to see him like survive and like keep getting revenge. They really could have made this into like an iconic antagonist, but I heard the sequel was pretty bad, so we're just watching the original. Maybe I'll come around to watch the second one, but I don't know. Jack and Harry are praised by Lieutenant Mac McMahon, with Harry being promoted, so they all kind of get like awarded some things, some like medals and whatnot. Yeah. Having survived the incident, however, Payne watches from afar, so now he realizes that Payne is still alive and he's still going to cause more problems. Can we not? Jesus. The next morning, Jack witnesses a mass transit bus explode, orchestrated by Payne, who contacts Jack on a nearby payphone, explaining that a similar bomb is rigged on another bus, which will activate once it reaches 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per hour, and detonate if it drops below 50, so probably one of the more interesting plots in action movie history, and maybe even movie history in general. So they have to keep this bus above 50 miles per hour, and if it goes below, it explodes. And if you let a passenger out, it will explode. So it's kind of interesting. Payne also demands a ransom of $3.7 million and threatens to detonate the bus if the passengers are offloaded. So obviously there's that rule. You can't let the passengers off the bus. So he has to play by this guy's game and this guy's rules. So he has to find a way to get, he has to find a way to get everyone off the bus without anyone dying. And that doesn't really work all that well, but he still ends up finding a resolution at the end of the day. Jack races through freeway traffic and boards the bus, but the bomb is already armed. So he's kind of too late. The guy already kind of connected everything, and he's ready to detonate it. He explains the situation to Sam Silver, the bus driver. However, a criminal on board, fearing Jack is about to arrest him, wildly discharges his gun, accidentally wounding Sam, the bus driver. So he's like, oh shit, he's a police officer. I gotta take this into my own hands for some fucking stupid reason. That doesn't even make sense. The bus you're riding is loaded with a bomb, and your concerns that you're gonna get arrested? Like, no. Another passenger, Annie Porter, who is played by Sandra Bullock, takes over for Sam, but when she tries to slow down so he can get help, Jack is forced to reveal the bomb, to the passengers' shock and horror, so now they know for sure that there is a bomb on the bus. Jack examines the bomb underneath the bus and calls Harry, who works to identify the bomber. He's trying to figure out who it was, and they're trying to pick up some suspicions. They're starting to pick up some suspicions that maybe this guy, you should be like in the police force or something. The bus is cleared to drive on an unopened freeway section, so now they get off the road. Obviously, there's a lot of different obstacles in their way, which makes this such a fun movie to watch. It's like, oh shit, there's a traffic jam ahead. You got to get on the shoulder. And obviously, there's going to be more and more obstacles as you go on in the film. Mac demands that they offload the passengers onto a flatbed trailer, but Jack warns him about Payne's plot. He's like, if we do this, he's going to blow up the bus. So, when seeing the events on TV, Payne calls Jack to reiterate his instructions to make sure he doesn't go against them, or else people are going to die at his hands. While he is convinced to allow the injured Sam to be offloaded for medical attention as a show of goodwill, Payne detonates a smaller bomb after witnessing a passenger attempt to get off, killing her. So everyone's like, no, don't get off the bus, and she gets off the bus, and the bomb detonates. So, yeah, she dies. He has a bomb, like, right off the steps of the bus, and she dies because of it. So, obviously, that was someone that Annie knew, and she was very upset about it. When Jack learns part of the freeway is incomplete, he persuades Annie to accelerate so they can jump the gap, which narrowly succeeds, before directing her to a nearby airport to use their unobstructed runways, and they're just going to be driving around in circles until they figure out a way to get them off the bus. So yeah, there's a pretty clever way that they figure out how to get people off the bus, but this is one of the crazy obstacles in the movie. There's like an open, unfinished freeway. There's like this 50-foot gap that they have to like jump with the bus, which doesn't seem possible. I don't know how they did it. Obviously, it's like the unrealistic aspects of an action movie that a bus that heavy could jump a 50-foot ramp, but it wasn't even that big of a ramp. But they do it obviously for plot convenience. Not everyone, the bus isn't going to fall off the edge and people start exploding, because if it lost speed, they would die. But yeah. Meanwhile, Harry identifies Payne's name, former occupation as a bomb squad officer, and address. They realize where he lives. They go to threaten him. Yada yada yada. He leads the SWAT team to Payne's home, but the property explodes, killing them. So Jack's long friend on the SWAT bomb squad, he dies. So obviously Jack has to live with that, and live with the fact that there's a bunch of passengers' lives that are in his hands. In a last-ditch attempt to defuse the bomb, Jack goes under the bus on a towed sled, but he accidentally punctures the fuel tank when the sled breaks from its tow line. So he's like trying to save himself. He like stabs his knife into a part of the bus, and he realizes he stabbed into the fuel tank. So now that's another obstacle. The bus is like losing gas pretty rapidly now. It's like a pretty big leak. Like it's a gash in the fuel tank, and now they have to figure out a way to stop the bus quicker, because it's going to run out of gas and they're going to need a fuel truck. After the passengers bring him back aboard, Jack learns that Harry has been killed and that Payne has been watching the passengers on a hidden surveillance camera. But that brings up some hope for the operation, because he realizes they can maybe make it look like everyone's like just chilling on the bus with a tape, and that's exactly what they do. Mac has a local news crew record the transmission and rebroadcast it on a loop to fool Payne while the passengers are offloaded onto an airport bus. So people get transported into safety. Now it's just Annie and Jack left on the bus. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, the main characters, of course. Jack and Annie escape through a floor access panel before the empty bus collides with a Boeing 707 cargo plane and explodes. It would have exploded anyway. It has bombs rigged to it. So, yeah. Jack and Mac head to Pershing Square to drop the ransom, drop the money so he can keep it for himself. Realizing that he has been fooled, no one died in the explosion, and the LAPD are waiting for him, Payne poses as a police officer to kidnap Annie and recover the ransom. So now he's going to have to take at least one life out of this. That's what he realizes. And he used to be a police officer, so people probably believed him. Jack follows Payne into the Metro Red Line subway and discovers that Annie has been fitted with an explosive vest rigged to a pressure-release detonator, so if someone even pushes it slightly, it's going to blow up. You know? So Payne hijacks a subway train, handcuffs Annie to a pole, and sets the train in motion while Jack pursues them. So now it's just another version of the bus. Now they're on a train, and now they realize they have an unfinished track ahead. Just like the common obstacles. Nothing can really go wrong for them right now. They're still... And you would think that everything's alright. You know, they get all the passengers off the bus. Annie and Jack are to safety. And then there's another conflict at the end. So this movie just keeps hitting you. You know? After killing the train engineer, Payne attempts to bribe with the ransom money, but is enraged when a dye pack in the bag explodes, tainting the cash, while the cash just gets destroyed. So he's pretty pissed off about it. It was like a trap, pretty much. A crazed Payne battles Jack on the train's roof and gains the upper hand, standing of Jack and trying to strangle him and maybe even push him off the train. However, Jack pushes Payne's head up and he is decapitated by an oncoming railway signal. Pretty disgusting, but obviously they didn't show it, and obviously the practical effects aren't as good as they are today, so that's probably a good thing. Jack deactivates Annie's vest but cannot free her from the pole as Payne had the key to her handcuffs. So again, just toppling on the conflicts in the story. I think they do a good job at that. Unable to stop the train, Jack accelerates it, causing it to jump the tracks as it plows through a construction site and then burst onto Hollywood Boulevard. So, yeah, this is where Jacksepticeye thinks speed is key is coming from, I think. Like, that's what I think. I mean, he had to speed up in it. That's why the movie's called Speed. The train car comes to a halt on the street. Unharmed, Jack and Annie share a kiss while a crowd looks on in amazement, and this is kind of where the final credits roll in. So it's kind of like a happily ever after story with the villain killed. Yeah. Speed received rave reviews. 94%, 70 reviews, 8 out of 10. A terrific popcorn thriller. Speed is taut and tense and energetic with outstanding performances from Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, and Sandra Bullock. I think Dennis Hopper is from Silence of the Lambs, I want to say. 7.8 out of 10 on Metacritic with 17 critics. Generally be favorable. A on CinemaScore. 4 out of 4 by Roger Ebert, very iconic reviewer. Films like Speed belong to the genre some people would like to call bruised 4-hour movies because you're always grabbing the arm of the person sitting next to you. Done wrong, they seem like tired replays of old chase cliches. Done well, they're fun. Done as well as Speed, they generate a kind of manic exhilaration. Hopper is certainly the creepiest villain in the movies, like at the time that this movie came out, and Reeves' transition to a believable action star was great after his earlier roles as dreamy, sensitive characters. So Keanu Reeves is finally getting like an action star look to him in a movie. Action flicks are usually written off as a debased genre unless, of course, they work. And Speed works like a charm. It's a reminder of how much movie escapism can still stir us when it's dished out with this kind of dazzle. Mr. Hopper finds nice new ways to convey crazy menace with each new role. Certainly, he's the most colorful figure in a film that wastes no time on character development or personality. And A on Entertainment Weekly. It's a pleasure to be in the hands of an action filmmaker who respects the audience. DeBont's craftsmanship is so subtle that even the triple ending feels justified, like the cataclysmic final stage of a Sega deathmatch. The movie has two virtues essential to good pop thrillers. First, it plugs uncomplicatedly into lurking anxieties, in this case the ones we brush aside when we daily surrender ourselves to mass transit and a world where the loonies are everywhere. One of the best 20 best films between 1992 and 2009 is what some people say about it. 1990, a top 10 film of 1994. Best Rock'em Sock'em movies of the past 25 years by Entertainment Weekly. 451 in Empire Magazine's 2008 list of the 500 greatest movies of all time. Film of the month at the time that the film was being watched. It's a film. It stood the test of time. It really stood the test of time and is really a masterpiece. I don't have much to say about the movie. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Some people don't say it's cliche. It is a little bit cliche. I do like the movie, though. That's just kind of my review on it. I just wanted to read the plot, kind of give you guys some of my thoughts on it.